I am. This is the kind of meditation that I do, usually twice a day. And the book in front of me is a devotional, pictures of people's devotional lives of all different types of religions. And ultimately it's the same thing for everybody. Once you get to the point beyond using religion as a way to interact healthily with feast days and fun days and have boundaries around your life, once it gets to a more of a mystic place, most people are at this point tuning into the unconditional love, which some call God, some call the universe, some call consciousness, awareness. I just call it presence, and it feels like love. For me it does. But I don't just sit there and get straight into deep presence and love. Usually I sit there and there's irritation in my body, or there's even pain, physical pain, or there's psychological pain, and that's usually the one that will get me. It will be the mind not wanting to switch off, and then if the mind's got a problem with something, the body will invariably feel the contraction somewhere. So what I do is I just go straight to the body. These days I actually don't have a very active mind anymore. I'm really grateful for that, because I used to have a very active fear-based mind. The minute I woke up, I'd probably be okay for 30 seconds, and then it would be what if only. The mind would go immediately into the past, immediately into the future, and then I would trigger into fear, and then that would be my day started. Just fear, fear, fear. And I didn't know that there was anything odd about that until I started to realise I didn't like it, and I wonder if there's another way to live. And how I get into or through to the other side is I just feel the fear or the irritation or the pain, and I sit with it somatically and I just feel it. And that's what I'm doing here in the bed. I'm tuning in probably from the tip of my head and just slowly going down. Sometimes I'll tune into psychological or physical pain that I can feel, and I will just simply stay there. No story, no if only and what ifs, no chatter. I just feel it. And what tends to happen is a gentle form of expansion starts to also appear, since is also felt, or there's a sensation of expansion, and I will notice that. And then I will also notice, with no judgment, the pain or the contraction, and then I will notice the expansion. And the body actually really knows how to heal itself and regulate itself once we invite the expansion back in by simply noticing it. And once I'm noticing the expansion, I don't get lost in it or get attached to it. Oh, I want to feel like this the whole time. I'll just then check in on the strongest contraction. Not the middle one, not the weakest one, but the strongest one, and then stay with that. And there's no end goal here. It's just being in the present moment, owning what's actually happening. And the contraction might morph a little bit, change a little bit, go somewhere else in the body, and it's just felt there. And as the expansion is noticed and is present, it's almost like we're communicating, hello, thank you, yes, I do want this expansion, and hello, thank you, yes, pain, I'm giving you attention, and all attention is love, really, because all is love, really, unconditional love. And it can be frightening for the ego to actually sit in the pain, because what the ego is absolutely supposed to do is make sure we stay alive, and it wants to ignore pain if it doesn't know how to fix it. And so then we'll go into just grinning and bearing it, putting up with it, ignoring it, until it gets to such a point that maybe we have to do other things. But at this point, I'm sitting on my bed and I'm just feeling minor pains and minor dysregulation and minor psychological stuff that comes up. Get it before it gets too big is my thing. And when we start with this sort of thing, the pain can be big because we've not done this before. So it's become backlogged in a way. But even just being with a little bit of backlog pain, actually, when it lifts, feels so good. So we can't do all of it at once. Some people actually do, but I never have been able to do that. And little by little. And at some point, this focus on just what is, in this case, I'll be feeling whatever's coming up in my body, and then noticing the expansion will start to become 10%, 20%, 30%, and when it reaches 51% and it crosses that line, it takes over, and suddenly it's going to all those places that hurt, and it's doing its work. Everything returns to love, because that's where it all came from in the first place. Our original form, all our thoughts, everything returns to love in the end, the unconditional love, the life force that is love. And anyway, this expansive feeling becomes 51%, and then I sit in that, and I should think by this point in the meditation that's probably happened. And the reason why it's just so easy to sit still in that, it's you're bathing in this presence, this love, and the whole body is resonating now in this unconditional love that's sensed, known, and yet totally unknown to the ego. And I'm not saying the ego is nothing wrong with the ego. If we didn't have the ego, we wouldn't be able to cross the road without getting run over, or get in a car without, being in trouble. The ego is a fantastic tool, but it doesn't know how to lead. And when it does lead, it gets scared. And then everything's scary. Decisions can't be made properly. Self-doubt, fear, not feeling good enough. I mean, that's when we let the ego lead. And unfortunately, most of us in our culture are there. We let the ego lead, but we also know it's madness doing that. And we love it when we're regulated and calm again and just sitting in the presence. We love that because that's our natural self. That is actually what we are and who we are. But what I'm saying now isn't for the ego. The ego doesn't understand this. The egoic mind-based self doesn't really know what the heck I'm talking about. But the body and the soul feel it and are like, yeah, I know this is true. We are unconditional love. Our life force is this unconditional love. And we come from it and we'll return to it. This is when the Buddhists say, it's all temporary. The body is temporary. What's forever and what's permanent is, I don't know what they call it, but it's what I call the presence. It's this intelligence and divine intelligence, whatever we want to call it. And every mystic religion, from Sufism to there's mystics on every religion out there. Kabbalah is the mystic, I believe, part of that religion, and mystic Christianity is the mystic part of that, and Sufism is the mystic part of Muhammad and his teachings, and I've literally forgotten. I'm so sorry. My left brain doesn't work great when I do this, but yes, and there's the mystic parts of taking ayahuasca, and maybe that is the mysticism of the plant medicine, etc. And it's all the same. We're all tuning in to that power greater than our egoic selves, greater than our bodies. It's the part that gives everything the life. And inanimate objects has it too. Dead things have it too. It's in everything. It's just when we're actually alive, like now, we can really consciously connect with it, and choose that every day. And I actually personally feel that our lives it's a karmic wheel, and we're pretty fated that we're going to have certain things happen to us, whether we like it or not. But what we can choose is, am I going to choose to do it in my egoic, fear-based roles? Or am I going to choose to do it in this expansive consciousness? And the blocks to the expansive consciousness is pain and contraction and fear. And so we feel the fear, feel the contraction, feel the pain, and it will return to its original form, which is consciousness, love. Also, an added thing is the egoic mind-based self doesn't love. It can need, it can want, it can be romantic, but normally when the ego says I love you, it means I need you. And then it says you better come here, and then it says I hate you, and then it says I don't want anything to do with you. You know, it's just all about roles. It's all about fear. And fear is a good thing if it keeps you from jumping off a cliff or walking off a cliff by accident or eating the wrong berry. But we don't need it all the time. We just use it to come back into presence, just like I'm doing here in the meditation. And when two or more people sit in this presence, like we've got right now, you're listening to me and we're talking and feeling and discussing unconditional love. When two or more connect, it multiplies it. It really strengthens it. It's lovely. That's why it's nice to have a partner to meditate with. I meditate with my husband, and it multiplies it by 10, really. Really lovely. And what I wanted to say was unconditional love doesn't come in and do things for us and fix us. It's unconditional. If it chose to go, oh, well, I'm going to help this person, they're in terrible trouble, then it would be conditional and it wouldn't be unconditional love anymore. It doesn't care, and it cares absolutely. And so by us somatically choosing to get present and join unconditional love with itself, then it comes into our lives, then it comes into ourselves, then it comes in and it does its miraculous work with our pains and our sadnesses and our illnesses.